Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever and only Skeleton Crew podcast. We are not that one or the other one, but we are
We're
one.
this one.
Yeah, we're this one. The one that currently has a jacket over his head. I can't see anything.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I am Almighty Stross. I'm here with
I'm
Uncle
Uncle
Death.
Death.
We are two Skelebros here, as always, to give you many things. Everything. I hope you all understand tonight that this is the first episode. The only episode that matters. I'm going to take off this jacket for a second to look at my audio levels because I can't actually see them underneath the jacket. We'll see how much worse it sounds once I put it back over. First things first, we should introduce ourselves. I'm Almighty Stross. I'm an educator, a streamer, apparently a husband, a son, a brother, and incredibly strange.
I'm Uncle Death, and I'm very tired.
I mean,
I'm so tired all the time. I also stream sometimes.
yeah, uh, I'm also very tired. That's why we're here together.
Yes. Also, I am an enjoyer of old men and gremlins. So yeah. Good evening, everybody, and Strauss. Before we begin with our actual topic in earnest, can I tell a little story for you and for the audience?
Go for it.
So, I want to get this off my chest, and this seems like the right place to do it because I have seen a sight on my walk to work because I walk to work, and it started out as just kind of a funny one-off thing, and now it's generally starting to like trouble me. So I want to talk about the Hentai Bike.
Hold on.
It,
Time out. The what?
the Hentai Bike.
The Hentai Bike.
So allow me to explain. So there is a business that I walk past, and in the parking lot, many days out of the week, there is there's a fairly older looking moped that I see in the same parking space a lot of the time, and it is absolutely covered, like 90% covered, with stickers of half naked or in some cases fully naked anime girls. I haven't had the chance to look really close and determine the true percentage of what to what, but it is absolutely covered in anime titties. And I laughed at first. I took a little picture, I showed one of my friends, and it's like, ha, isn't this silly? I see this bike all the time, and I'm sure because the person who owns the bike, who I'm sure is a very nice, well-adjusted member of society, it works there. And Strauss, it haunts me. I feel like the protagonist in a Junji Ito manga.
My one statement on this, and I want it to be abundantly clear, is that I've not been shown this bike yet, and I'm very mad about the fact that I've not been shown this bike yet. How dare!
I think I posted a while back on Twitter, but it is, and these are not like big stickers that you would put on vehicles typically. They're like smaller stickers, so I want you to get in your mind just like the sheer number that this person would have needed to cover their moped in anime girls. And I'm not criticizing people who are fans of anime girls. I am one myself.
Yeah,
But
we're not ones to judge on that part.
but it's a combination of the dedication and the fact that this person takes this vehicle to what I can assume is their place of employment every day.
That's dedication. I kind of respect it.
I do too. Like I respect this person and I'm afraid of them.
Yeah,
So
like
I
that's a man of or woman of incredible power. Not good power, but power nonetheless.
it's you know, like Heavy said, I don't fear any man, but that thing, it scares me.
That thing, it scares me. Yeah,
It's so
no,
scary,
it's
Strauss.
it's that's wild. From the story from me today is completely different and from a very less nerdy statement, but it is basically can be summed up by the phrase, "Look how they've massacred my boy."
Oh no, what happened?
So, my beloved basketball team, the Golden State Warriors, made a bunch of trades at the deadline, sending young man James Wiseman, who I am a truther on, despite how his career has not turned out well so far,
Mm-hmm.
to they sent him to the Pistons, and the Pistons sent Sadiq Bey to the Hawks for 5, and we got 5, and the Dubs got 5 for second round picks, who they then traded to Portland for former Warrior, as in he was literally on the roster when they won a championship last year, Gary Payton the second, not Junior, the second, because there's a different Gary
The
Payton
second.
Jr. No, I need to mention because he has a brother who is Gary Payton Jr.
Okay.
Son of NBA legend and Hall of Famer Gary Payton.
So there's a legacy here.
Yeah, there's a legacy. We love GB2. GB2 is great. And apparently he was playing through injury, like, according to his physical. And I'm like, what is going on in Portland? Like, the whole thing's crazy. And all it can be summed up is, look how they've massacred my boy.
Oh.
How dare you? These are fighting words, Portland Trailblazers. This is how wars are started. At least on the internet.
Yeah, fair enough. I am not as well versed in sports, but that does seem like it's quite a serious deal.
Oh, no, it's like, I could send you some of the stuff. Like, there's quotes from the head coach, like, oh, it's just mental. I'm like, no, apparently the mental part is when the body receives a pain receptor in the abdomen to the brain. Technically, all pain is mental, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's hurt.
Yeah, I think so. Also, if you check Discord in a minute here, I am going to be sending photo evidence.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna see live reaction right now. Breaking news. Oh my god. Yeah.
I should note, this is from months ago. There are more stickers on the bike now.
Right. Okay. I wanted to state, because now that I'm seeing this, so I can like describe it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to blow this up on my big monitor.
I'm telling the truth.
Oh, I believed you. It's just that. Okay, let's see. Can I recognize any of these people? No, I can't. Oh god, there's so many. Like, I want this to be made abundantly clear now that I'm taking a look at this and that everyone can see this. It's just a bunch of stickers on the bike, and there's so many of them. It is upward. It's not upwards of 10. It is like at least 40. By the looks of it.
I'd say there are several dozen.
Yeah, it's around like at least around 30 minimum.
I do recognize Shinobu from Bakemonogatari on there, and that concerns me.
I probably could. I mean, the problem is I have to blow this up to like large size, so
I'm a little embarrassed how many of these I know actually.
The problem is when I'm looking at this, it's because this is not your fault. Obviously, this is just the fault of how you took a picture with your phone and then sent it via the internet to me. Because if it were up to us, we'd be in a studio somewhere underground. In our private bunker. But we can't afford that because we're cheap. So we do this over Discord. And I'm just looking at this thing and I'm just like, I think I recognize some of these. I can't tell. It's just that it's kind of small and it's obviously you didn't get up close and personal.
Right, I didn't want to spend a lot of time very close to it, especially taking pictures of it.
Yeah, taking pictures of someone else's anything is kind of weird.
But I think it's warranted here.
Oh, no, it's warranted. I want people to understand that I'm taking a look at this thing. It was warranted. I'm seeing it. in person, being like,
I
wow, look at this thing. Wow.
and I see this nearly every day walking to work.
How long is your walk to work? I never asked you this question. I didn't even know you walk to work.
Yeah, I do. It's a really short walk between my work and home. It's like 10 minutes. So
Oh, that's very convenient.
yeah, it's very nice.
That's
And you
good.
see the most amazing things.
Yeah, like the Hentai Bike. I'm
Oh,
gonna ask for a follow up. See if there's new ones added every so often. Like every month, I'm gonna ask. So is there more stickers now?
I'm gonna see if I can get another picture of it next time I see it because it's I just like I said, I feel like the main character in a Junji Ito story that is just like back again.
The spirals didn't warn me about this. I was ready for spirals and fault lines, but this is different.
So that's my story. That's
Oh
what
god,
my day was like.
I downed a whole drink before this, and somehow I'm still not prepped.
Nobody has ever been ready
I
for
could be stone cold sober right now and still be like, well, wasn't ready. It's like
But
I need to describe this from my vantage. There are booty, there are butts, there are boobs, so many boobs.
there is quite a bit of like full on naked ass just on this bike.
Yeah, like all power to you. By the way, if this is what you are, this is better than like the hoodie
Yes.
because like
I would
go on.
Yeah, I would prefer this any day to an Ahegao hoodie.
Yeah, because like the hoodie, it's like that's straight up porn. Some of this is just pinups.
Yeah.
And
It's like not really.
is this?
It's like having a Playboy bunny on the back of your
Yeah,
truck.
is this any different from putting a pinup on your plane? I say no. It's a lot more in your face about it.
I think it's just the sheer number of them.
Yeah, it's a volume thing because it's a lot. Let me tell you all something.
Crawling with them.
Like we can't express how many stickers there are on this because it's a lot.
And I can't help but picture like going on a date with somebody, like a blind date, first time you meet them, and them pulling up to pick you up on their bike. Very cool. And then you see the bike and it's this.
I'm okay. I gotta ask you this,
Uh-huh.
Sardo, Uncle Death, my friend, my beloved friend, through all the crazy moments of our lives, both in and out of just me having to deal with you and vice versa. Would you go on a second date with a man who owns a bike like this?
Um, you know, that it all depends. It all depends, you know. I think there are two very different kinds of people that could own a bike like this. So, who knows? I mean, maybe they're actually pretty cool.
You
Maybe they're
know,
just like chill with it. I'd imagine you'd have to be.
you know, the way I put it is that either this guy is amazing or girl. I'm not gonna judge. Either the person who owns this bike is the coolest motherfucker you know, or you don't.
If okay, let me say, if a lesbian owns this bike, they're cool as hell.
Yeah. If this is a lady, I am way more interested in hearing spending time with them than if it's a guy. Like, here's the way I put it: if it's a guy who owns this is like 70-30. 70% no, please never talk to me again. I don't want to see you. 30% yes, actually keep going. With a lesbian, like, with a woman, it's like 50-50.
Yeah, it's like there is a sizable chance that she's probably pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know a bunch of people who like I know people who work for ANN. I knew their last like editor in chief. May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And like all that stuff. So I know a lot of random people. Like if this was them, they would never do this. But if they did do it for like shits and giggles, I wouldn't be shocked.
I really hope that it is an intense committal to the bit.
I honestly, I think it is at this point because like there's overlap.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't just keep throwing waifu stickers up if this was not a bit.
Yeah, I think this is it's there is a level of not irony but self-awareness.
Yeah, because like if it was like someone who's really obsessed with one character, it would just all be that one character.
Yeah.
And like this is like 20 different characters minimum.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to make it abundantly clear, and this is not a fault of yours, Sardo. It's totally not your fault. It's just that, you know, your picture wasn't that close, and I understand why.
Yeah, it's not perfect for sure.
Like you were walking past, you were going to work. I'm not gonna fault my man for like being like, oh my god. And then moving on.
To be fair, like I feel like looking at it for too long could like be seriously damaging. So
it's hurting my mental health right now. And I keep looking at it.
But yeah,
I don't pretend that I'm not a horny motherfucker. I want that to be abundantly clear. We are adults. We do adult things, and we say adult stuff. We might not swear that often. Sometimes we do, but we are horny people like everyone else. We're just normal men.
We're just innocent men.
Just honest men.
But I look at this with a combination of awe and dread.
Yeah. Like, I'm just kind of impressed. Because, like,
yeah, so
you know me. I don't, like, broadcast this stuff in real life too often.
Yeah,
most people don't.
Yeah, like the majority of my friends who are like anime fans and like pretty serious anime fans too. It's like you have to at least go to their house to know.
I literally know people who write for ANN as a job.
Yeah.
Like, I know anime fans, and they will broadcast this shit online, but once it's, like, real life, it's like, no, I got a regular job with regular people, with, I'm outside of the internet, I'm a normal man who does normal things with normal friends. But it's like, my lord.
If I saw my coworker climbing onto this bike after a shift to go home, I don't know if I would talk to them ever again.
I don't know. Like I said, it is a percentage of this person's either the coolest guy you've ever met or like the worst.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
this is how we're starting. I'm so glad this is how we're starting this.
Thank you for letting me unburden myself of this.
No, I don't know how I missed this. How have we not talked about this before?
I don't know. It's something that lingers in the back of my mind a lot. And there's days where I don't see it in the parking lot and I'm like, where'd the hentai bike go? Will I ever
probably
see
has
it again?
the day off.
Probably so. Like a normal human being, a normal human person owns this bike.
He's just a normal guy. Just
an innocent man.
Sorry, that I've inflicted that on our lexicon. Much like Homestar Runner, which we will one day talk about. It has irreversibly changed our lexicon forever.
Homestar Runner has mangled my vocabulary.
My favorite video title is Homestar Runner parts that have irreversibly changed my dialect. And it's like, yeah.
Like, Homestar Runner was a big part of my childhood, and I think it made me a little stupid.
I think it made you a little smart.
You know what? Thank you. I'm gonna choose to see it that way.
But anyway,
So,
folks, that's just us sort of. I guess that's our new opening segment of the Hentai Bike.
where is the hentai bike?
I
The
this
hentai
better.
bike is out there.
I hope this podcast gets big enough to where becomes a regular job and this becomes a reoccurring segment.
If I could make a living off of the hentai bike, I don't think I'd ever need anything else in life.
Me neither. But
So,
today we are going to be talking about a real segment. And we do
yes.
actually have a sheet with ideas, mostly mine so far. Not because of any one thing, just because I'm an insane person who has too many thoughts.
I need to add more.
Well, considering the fact that I'm looking at the sheet right now, and they're all my ideas, technically my ideas, I'm just the one who put them down. I'm sure the phrase Three Kingdoms nonsense is both our ideas.
Oh, fuck yeah. Of course it is.
We're not apologizing for that. It's gonna happen. But we're gonna start off with, we're gonna go with a normal statement. I want you to make it abundantly clear. You're like, but the Three Kingdoms is a history thing. It can't possibly be weird. You are so wrong.
Just you wait.
You
wait.
You have no clue. Well, some of you have a clue. Of the probably 5 people who are going to listen to this first episode, just keeping it realistic, some of you will know. Some of you
Yes,
will not
indeed.
know. Hi, Mom.
And you're in for a treat.
Oh, I definitely know my mom's going to listen to this. I already know.
Hi, Stross's mom.
Hi, Mom. I'll see you in March. I have a wedding.
Yay! That's cool.
My cousin's getting married. Congratulations to her.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats.
And her beloved dog. It's a pug.
There's gonna be a dog at the wedding?
No, sadly, Phoebe's not going to be at the wedding.
Oh.
I mean, I understand why. She's a puppy. I'm not sure she should be doing air travel at that age.
You know, that's understandable. Never mind. Yeah.
I gotta meet her. She's a type. She does the little thing when the puppies do, like the butt wiggle where they're excited, like, and then like, but because they're so small, the whole thing wiggles.
I love that so much.
I think I shared pictures of Phoebe. If not, I'll share it afterward.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I
I
recall,
did
yes.
my due diligence as a friend to share puppy pics.
You did. You did as you should, and she is very cute.
She is very cute. But we are starting today off with what makes a good bad movie?
And I'll admit, I really wanted to do this for the first one because good bad movies are an immense passion of mine, as they are for many people, but I love them so much.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to open up a very old document of movies that I have seen that are considered terrible or just different. And it is old. Like, I mean old. I haven't seen it in years. No, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. Oh no. There are 2 different ones, and I'm not sure which one's the right one. No, that's a different thing. Nope, that's a different set. Because I used to be part of a stream that was just bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
So many bad movies. I've seen a lot. Because bad movies are fun, but
Yes.
what makes a bad movie fun? And I've thought about this many times for a very long time. And, here it is. Here's the old... There it is. Oh, God. I've seen a lot of these. Oh, no. Let's see. What's on here? Well, that's just actually good. That's the Christmas special for She-Ra and He-Man.
Hell
That's,
yeah.
let's see, 300 Rise of an Empire, 2012. The extended cut of Alexander. The,
So I guess maybe it's good to start off. I mean, maybe my high school speech and debate roots are showing here. Let's start off with the definition. Like, what is a good bad movie? Like,
well,
what makes it those
I'm going to go
particular qualities?
farther than that, and I'm going to use my old film degree that I'm currently looking at, my Bachelor of the
Oh
Arts
yeah,
right there on my wall. I'm going to go a step deeper. What is even bad? And
yeah.
and here's the thing. I remember, I don't know if you watched Todd in the Shadows.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And he said this once, and it stuck with me for so long. It's been like a decade of this, and I realized why it stuck with me because it's the perfect example of what is badness to begin with. And the first thing is badness via incompetency.
Hmm.
This is where most good bad movies are, by the way. It's when it's your Ed Woods, it's your The
Your Neil Breen.
Rooms, your Neil Breens. You're just people who make things that are not well made. They're not good, but they're bad because they're poorly made. They're ramshackle, but there's a passion behind them. It's just that the person making it should not have made it. It should have gone to somebody else.
Or it should have gone to nobody because it's inherently so bad. Again, Neil Breen.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, you have badness because of offensive. And I know we're the first movie that comes to mind when I do this, and that is Christian movies. A lot of those
Yes.
pure flicks, which I've seen more than one, by the way. I've
Oh yeah.
seen
Oh, I've seen a couple.
I've seen
That
God's
one
Not
that.
Dead. I have a fun story about one of them. We'll get to that in a bit.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
You're gonna love this. But, stuff like God's Not Dead, Last Ounce of Courage, stuff that, like, offends the senses. Whatever those
Yeah.
senses are. Those aren't very fun. They're fascinating, but they're not fun.
There's no enjoyment, and I think like the when I talk about good bad movies, like it is very rare that a Christian movie, especially one of the pure flicks over, is makes it on there because like it's mean. It's just
Yeah.
mean.
Well, yeah, those are mean. And we'll talk more about it in a bit. But there is the final statement, and this is the one from one Todd in the Shadows, a pop music critic on
Mhm.
the interwebs. But he said, bad as the absence of good. And when I first heard that, I suddenly realized why certain things were bad. Like, he articulated a feeling. A feeling that I had over the years, which was sometimes you get something that's bad and it's not fun, it's not good, it's just bad.
Yeah.
This isn't Werewolf, which thank God we're not breaking into the entire credit sequence from MST3K right now. If you know what we're
I think
talking
you mean Warwolf.
about, with Emilio Estevez.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Good stuff.
But like the point is, the reason why I'm bringing this up, it's like what makes a good bad movie starts with what kind of bad it is.
Yes.
Because
It's the
we've
building block.
yeah, it's the building block. We've had bad movies. We've all had bad movies. There's been many bad movies. But like there's a difference between watching like God's Not Dead, which just pisses you off. Like it offends you because it's like what the fuck, Kevin Sorbo?
It's inept, it's inept and mean-spirited.
Yeah, there's a mean-spiritedness to it. There's a feel.
Yeah.
But but like what's a good bad movie? Like Hackers. 95
Yes.
Hackers. Hack the Planet with Angelina Jolie in a pixie cut, which is way hotter than you think it is.
She does look, I mean, she always looks good, but
Yeah.
yeah,
She was hot in that movie. And also,
she
was
was.
it Matthew Lillard who's also in that movie, or was it Freddie Prinze Jr.? I think it's Matthew
Oh,
Lillard.
I think it was Matthew. I love Matthew Lillard.
Yeah. I love both of them. They pitch perfect casting, by the way, for the Scooby Doo movie.
Agreed.
But like Highlander 2, terrible movie, hilarious though, because it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not very good. That the Jim Carrey one,
Yeah.
not the
But
original
like
short.
absurd and kind of hilarious.
Like you can appreciate a movie when it's bad. Like Mono's The Hands of Fate comes from a real honest place. Not very
It was
good.
genuine.
It's genuine. I think that's what the key here is in this discussion is genuine. Are you genuinely trying to make something good, but you just don't know how?
And I think that's, I mean, we can't really have a good bad movie discussion without mentioning the man. So I'm going to broach it. Nicolas Cage.
Well,
You know,
I was going to mention Ed Wood.
oh,
Absolutely. I feel like this is the difference between you and me right here, where it's like, I'm the person who went to film school. So it's like, when it comes to like, who's the good bad movie person? Well, it's Ed Wood. But Nicolas Cage, also good. Like, I saw his Wicker Man. Honestly,
yes.
overrated. Not his.
I mean, it's not his best movie by a long shot.
No, not as like for him overacting like a crazy person.
And the thing is that it's like Nick Cage is a phenomenally talented actor, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't get.
If you want to see a great Nick Cage performance, watch Raising Arizona.
Hell yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Coen
Love
Brothers.
Raising Arizona. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But
I think there is a and Ed Wood is exactly in the same place, I feel like, of there is a sincerity there. It's earnest.
Mm-hmm. It like at least like a lot of the bad Nick Cage movies, by the way, are because he got dinged by the IRS, so he owed a lot of money.
He had some bills to pay.
He had to pay the bills. But a personal one of like really funny. You know, it's a good bad movie because like the elements of a good bad movie is usually someone's overacting, the effects aren't very good, the plot is nonsensical, and well, you know what's a great movie for that? I'm looking at my old list. The 2000s Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons in it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh man, Jeremy Irons was eating it up.
Chewing the scenery is not a... It's not good enough. The blood will rain from the sky.
He put his full dick and balls into that movie.
No, the best part is like there's okay, so the thing is Dungeons and Dragons from the year 2000 was made by New Line Cinema released a year before they would release 3 straight bangers in the Lord of the Rings movies. So this was like the preemptive, like, do people actually like these? And the answer is yes, but not like this.
It's the watery squirt of ketchup before you get a real good squirt.
Yes, but what's great about it is there's also in it is Thora Birch, who was just coming off of American Beauty, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's American Beauty with Persona non grata himself.
Yes.
But it's just so funny because she's in that and she is not trying. Like the whole movie, she is not trying one iota. It's
girl, give us nothing.
It's so bad. It's so funny because she is not trying one bit in that movie. And there's scenes with her and Jeremy Irons, who's the evil, like she's the princess, queen, whatever. And Jeremy Irons is like, you know, the evil wizard. And he's just, who's like her advisor. And he's like, yes, princess, how are you? And because Jeremy Irons knows what he's in. But this is Thora Birch when she's still young. And Thora Birch is like not realizing that you're in this, you might as well just have fun and shoot the scenery because eventually you're in a bad one. And she's like, "Ah, wizard, how are you?" She's not trying. She's not trying the whole movie. It's great. It's not a good movie. Also in it, Richard O'Brien of Rocky Horror Picture fame for some
I
reason.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he's in this
Huh.
movie. I don't know why he's in this movie. He's just weirdly in this movie. I guess he plays
He's
D and
just
D.
there.
He's just there. He's just there.
I I gotta go watch that again because
Yeah.
I'm just remembering Jeremy Irons in that.
No, what's
and
also
I
great about it is he's acting a part, classic bad movie actor, Bruce Payne. He's the guy who has the blue lips.
yeah.
And he's also in like several other bad movies, including one of the Highlander sequels, which should really tell you all you need to know about it, about his
I
acting
think it
career.
speaks for itself.
And he also is just like chewing the scenery, and they share scenes together. It's great.
I'm jealous of them because they looked like they were having so much fun.
I always respect when like great actors are in terrible movies because you can tell that they like at some point they know what the movie is and they stop trying or they give like 110%.
And it's when they do
none
the
of
latter
this,
that it's
none of it is better than the late, well, maybe late Sir Christopher Lee. We haven't confirmed or denied he's a vampire yet.
I'm pretty sure he's a vampire.
And specifically, one of my personal favorites, and that's Howling 2. My sister is a
His
werewolf.
sister's a werewolf.
That movie is not only okay. If you haven't seen this movie, all the effects happen on a different shot. This is how cheap the movie is. These effects didn't happen on screen. Like, it's a werewolf movie. Werewolf movies are built on their transformation sequences, and those don't happen on screen ever.
Like you hardly even really get a silhouette or anything. You basically get like nothing.
No, it will cut away, and then we'll cut back to the people with like hair glued on their face. Like, it's
And
bad.
like there is no reason that Sir Christopher Lee, God rest his soul, should have been in that, but he was. And it was
No,
so
the best part is he apologized to the original director for being in it. The other part that's great about this movie is that it holds two other actors of note. One of them is the immortal Reb Brown, who, if you're an MST3K diehard, you know him better as Big McLarge Huge.
fuck yeah, blast hard cheese.
Roll fizzle beef. And the other one is Sybil Danning, who takes her top off at one point during the movie. And then they show it like 3 times in the credits.
It's like we gotta milk this for all it's worth. No pun
They
intended.
They knew. But yeah, like, what makes a good bad movie is really, to me, I think number one is earnestness.
Yeah.
Like, there was an earnest attempt to make art. Followed by
Like, maybe
utter failure.
they didn't have the skills, or maybe they didn't have the money, or they didn't have either.
Yeah.
But they had a dream.
Well, because, like, you see, like, bad movies all the time. Because, like, that phrase, bad as the absence of good,
Yeah.
is important because you see movies that are, like, not great, or just, like, they're not fun, or they're not well made. Like, and you don't...
Tepid.
They're just, like, there. Even when they're incompetently made, they're just, like, they're not made by people who are funny.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking for one that's a good example. No, I won't watch. That's a good movie, actually. Like, something like a bad comedy. Like, nothing is worse than a bad comedy to sit through.
Bad comedies are like 9.9 times out of 10 absolutely agonizing.
Yeah, because, like, for me, a bad movie is at least like a bad comedy is bad because like I've seen The Love Guru. It's not good.
Oh yeah.
It's a horrible movie because it's just like you're sitting through just just something that's painful.
It's like watching the most annoying person you know just go up on stand-up night and bomb every single second they're up there.
Like the way I put it is, it like bad comedies are the worst because you're not laughing.
Yeah.
The one goal of a comedy, even if it's just mediocre, like a bad comedy just doesn't make you laugh. It's failing to do its one job.
And it's painful because of that.
Exactly.
There's nothing more mentally strenuous than seeing something try to be funny and fail.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's nothing like having like even with a like unlike a that's what we mean by bad as the absence of good.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing it's trying to do is make you laugh, and it's failing. So there's nothing good about it. So you're just sitting there watching maybe a competently made movie, just not be good. Speaking of a bad movie that's actually incredibly competently made, have you ever seen Cool as Ice? The Vanilla Ice movie that they made?
Yes, I have.
A shockingly well-made movie.
It is alarmingly competent.
Well, no.
Doesn't mean it's good.
Well, okay, so let me put this way. The movie is incredibly well shot. Like,
It's alarmingly technically competent.
Hold on, I need to look up who did who was the DP on that, because the DP on that deserves a lot of credit for making a very well shot movie. But it's not good. I want that to be made abundantly clear. It is
and
bad.
To be fair, it is a movie about Vanilla Ice. It was doomed from inception.
Okay, to give you an idea here, the cinematographer, just looking up, was... Oh, how do I pronounce this? Janusz Kaminski? Here are some of the other movies he's well known for. I'm just gonna read through some of the movies he's in. He was he did War Horse, Minority Report, Saving Private Ryan, West Side Story. He's worked a lot with Spielberg.
Fuck off.
No, oh god, he even did Ready Player One, Bridge of Spies, Lincoln. Oh my god. Hold on, let me look.
No.
The Adventures of Tintin. The music video for Alejandro by Lady Gaga. Funny People. Oh god, he's worked a lot with Spielberg. Oh, here's Wonder Pets for one episode. Catch Me If You Can. Oh, he did AI. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jerry Maguire, Little Giants. Okay, that's... Oh god, he was on Schindler's List. This guy's really talented.
What kind of dirt did Vanilla Ice have on this man?
Well, I know, I have an idea what happened. Was that we have to remember that at the time, Vanilla Ice was very popular, making a lot of money. So they probably and this is back when the record industry had a shit ton of money. So they just splurged.
Oh my god.
Super hard. And what's great about it is the movie's terrible, but it's hilarious because it's just like Vanilla Ice is shockingly uncool. like
even uncooler than you would imagine.
Like uncooler than the jokes about Vanilla Ice, because Vanilla Ice was like you look back on it and it's like, wow, this guy is not cool.
He's aggressively lame.
And the movie is like this shockingly well shot thing. So you have this guy going around like, hey, what's up? And it's just like, he's lame. But like everything else around him is way better. Like the shots during the music sequence are amazing, and you're just like, this is hilarious. The level of talent for showing a guy this not good. It's a hilarious contrast. But I owe you a story, don't I?
Oh, do tell.
So, okay, this is a funny one. So, one of those Christian movies, because Christian movies are usually offensive.
Oh yeah.
Not because, not like good Christian movies, by the way, not stuff about, like, stories from the Bible. Like, I don't look at, like, the 10 Commandments starring Charlton Heston and go, oh, this is terrible.
No, but it's like, it's especially modern Christian movies that are kind of like these neo morality play kind of things.
We're specifically talking about like the movies meant for Christians. Like the conservative Christian people who want their movies to be about Christian stuff. And
Rick Cameron Saving Christmas.
Yeah. I have some Saving Christmas actually. But it's not about Saving Christmas. So, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Because the reason why I know about this movie is the story about it. And also the follow-up story. So, it starts off with... Oh, what's it called? I need to look up a person. No, not that. Who is it? So, there's a Christian movie starring the captain of the Love Boat. The show from the 70s.
Right.
I have to remember what his name is so I can find it. Gavin McLeod. He was... A lot of guys like Gavin McLeod. I think it's Gavin McLeod. I need to look this up.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. It's The Secrets of Jonathan Sperry. It's a Christian movie that stars Gavin McLeod, who was the captain on the Love Boat, and who's the other one? And Robert Guillaume, however it is. You know him as the voice of Rafiki.
Yes.
On Rafiki from The Lion King. I never would have heard of this movie if it wasn't for one person. And that's because I happened to went to high school with one of the kids who was in this movie.
Holy shit.
And I'm not going to say his name because I have a level of professionalism, but I went to high school with him and he told me about this movie. And it's this really dumb, it's like not the most offensive Christian movie you're going to see, by the way. Like, there's a scale here.
Right.
Like, there's a difference between the likes of God's Not Dead or Last Ounce of Courage. Where you're just like, fuck you to the movie.
They're a little less open and aggressive with the hatred.
Yeah. It's like more like, oh, Jesus does good things. It's like, this one's more smug. I would say it's more smug from my memory of it.
Right. I see.
It's been a while since I watched it. And we watched it and we're like, the only reason why I know about this, I later learned that the guy I knew who was got arrested in Vegas for impersonating a police officer. That was sent to me by a buddy of mine. It's like, I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
That is.
And I want to make it abundantly clear, when I knew him in high school, he wasn't like a weird Jesus-y kid, by the way.
Right.
He was, I wouldn't say he was normal. We called him Weasley.
Yeah.
Weasley is the way I would have described him, but it was just really funny to be like, oh, that's what happened to him. He got arrested.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Funny story.
Yes.
It's just like such a random cast. It's like, how do you know about this movie? Well, I know a guy who's in it.
like I think that's the thing about a lot of those movies is like I think a lot of people who are like actors in it or whatever are just regular people,
Hmm.
who probably need money and stuff for their resume.
Well, like to me, when it comes to like the offensive Christian movie demographic, there are two. There's like three types of actors in it.
Mhm.
You have like the people who are extras. They don't count. They're just extras.
Yeah, yeah.
The-
No, they don't count.
they're here for a paycheck. You have the people who are in it because they need something on the resume and they need to act. Like they're actors. They do what they
Mhm.
can. And then you have the people who are like the actors who are weirdo, fundy Christians. Like Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
There's a shocking amount of like 90s daytime TV, like 90s TV people who are like weirdo, fundy Christians. Who are now, that's all that they do is like those weird movies.
Because nobody will hire him anymore.
Nope, because everyone got sick and tired of his bullshit. Which
And
is
it's not because he's a hateful, pathetic weirdo. It's just because the media is too liberal. Kevin Sorbo.
God. The best part about Kevin Sorbo's life is watching him get dunked on Twitter.
Love it. Love seeing it.
Specifically by Lucy Lawless.
Oh, Lucy Lawless.
Lucy is just like, ha, wait, no, I there. I there, mate. Fuck you.
I love her so much.
No, she seems like a real big sweetheart. And I'm like, I'm glad Zeta was the one that was popular. Fuck you, Hercules.
Yes. Eat shit, Hercules.
We want Zeta, clearly.
So, okay. I guess if we've been talking about what makes a movie bad. So, what is, in your opinion, one of the all-time best good bad movies?
Let me think.
'Cause you've got a bit more education in this. You've got a bit more of a background, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, well, to me, would be like one of the examples of a great bad movie to watch is stuff like I'm just going through my list. Oh god, it's so long. There's over 1,000 entries. They are alphabetized. Like a lot of like later horror sequels are a great example of this. They're just campy, they're goofy, they're not very fun. But like a great example of this is something like no, not Airbud. Airbud's is kind of stupid. It's funny, but it's stupid. Not the Back to the Future. Those are actually good movies. I'm trying to think of one. I'm trying to jog some memories here. Like, to me, you know what it is? Have you ever seen the movie Pan? Like the weird
Yeah.
Peter Pan movie where they suddenly belt out "Smells Like Teen Spirit" out of the middle of nowhere, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, what is happening? Why am I here? Like, to me, good bad movies are stuff like that, where it's just like, it's weird, it's strange, it keeps you on your toes. Stuff like, God, I've seen way too many.
If I may provide an example,
Go for it. I'm also trying not to say Ed Wood movies because that's the easy answer, and I don't want to do that.
So for me, I think one of the all-time greats that doesn't get mentioned anywhere near as much as it should. Light Blast, starring Eric Estrada, 1985.
I have not seen that. That sounds great.
Oh my God, Stross, you were in for such a treat.
We're gonna have to watch that. You and I are gonna have to watch that.
Now I can't say a whole lot because I feel like it takes away some of the oomph of it. But
Fair enough.
On one hand, it's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. It's basically the premise of it is that this mad scientist has built this death ray, and he is holding, I think, the city of New York hostage in exchange for however many $1 million. And Eric Estrada has to stop him, because of course he does.
Well, it's Eric Estrada. He would save us all if he had to.
It's that, and then there is stunt work here, and I hesitate to call it that because like you look at some of this stuff, especially with like car chases and stuff, and you think it's like people have gotten hurt or died working on this movie
You- I,
because it's just
I have a good
it's
one, and it's not really all that bad, but Kroll from 1983.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's the most. It's the one with the glaive.
Oh, okay.
The only other thing that's really important about Kroll is that it has a very, very young Liam Neeson in it.
Holy shit.
That's not the funniest one. It's not the only one. Let's see. No, not Last Action Hero. That's actually not that bad. I'm looking through all the things I've seen. I'm trying to remember which ones I know. Definitely not A Little Shop of Horrors. That's a good movie.
Oh yeah.
Some of the movies on this list were actually good because we decided, we're gonna have some fun time. Not the original Mad Max. I do agree it's not that good of a movie. Now the second Mad Max movie is way better.
Agreed.
Mad Monster. Oh, I remember Mad Monster Party. Weird, insane movies from the 60s. Hold on.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like, I forget everything about it. It's been a long time. Some of these I haven't watched in a while. Understand, I am looking at a list and I'm only in the M's. I've only... Mystery Men is a good movie. I definitely know that was one we watched because it's actually funny.
I liked Mystery Men.
Yeah. Which is mysterious men.
Just mysterious men.
Men of mystery.
So I think something else too, if we're gonna be talking about qualifiers for like what makes the difference, like I think a good bad movie is really well determined by like what was more fun to watch on Mystery Science Theater, like what made for some of the better episodes. Because I know that it's like there's some actual comedy taking place there too with the people watching it, but I think the movie contributes so much to the quality of that. Like
yeah, like part of the reason why, like, say, Hobgoblin. Wait, no, was that the name of it?
yeah, Hobgoblins.
Yeah, Hobgoblins was good because it was a rip-off movie of Gremlins. It's really bad. It has someone you actually know in it, even if you don't know him by face. I do know what it is. Do you know the famous person in that movie?
Oh,
It's a great.
it's escaping me right.
It's
Who was it?
Darren Norris, the voice actor, most famous for being Cosmo on Fairly Odd Parents.
My God.
Yeah, he's the host of Club Scum, and he talks like this.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, and he's the only. I think he's the only person in that movie who had a career afterwards.
Well, that's good because I fucking loved that guy in the movie, so
Yeah.
that makes me even happier because I also liked Cosmo.
No,
Even
no,
though
no,
Butch
better
Hartman
part.
sucks,
Yeah,
but
but Butch Hartman might suck, but he's also in Cowboy Bebop.
really?
Yeah, he's you remember the episode with Andy the Cowboy?
Ah,
He's Andy the Cowboy.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I didn't know it.
I'm surprised you didn't know that. That sounds like the type of stuff you would just know.
I I well now I do know it.
Yeah, well, you do now. Let's see now. Small Soldiers is a weird movie. I wouldn't call it bad. Hold on, I'm going
I
through all the movies I have, and I'm just like, oh god, which ones were the?
If I can be totally real,
Mhm.
there was a short period in my childhood where I was completely obsessed with Small Soldiers. I had a Small Soldiers themed birthday party. I think I was like 5.
If it makes you feel any better, I own that movie on VHS. I watched the shit out of it.
I really enjoyed that movie
No,
to an absurd degree.
I'm not sure if it's a good movie, but I have an affection for it, so I'm not. I know a good one, a very good bad movie,
Hmm.
and it has all the elements that we want, and that is Street Fighter, the Street Fighter movie from 1994.
Yes.
Because it has everything you want. It has an actor who's way too good to be in this movie. People are sincerely trying to make this work. Bad costumes. No idea how to make this movie actually work, despite the fact that it should be super easy.
It's so incomprehensible, and they're trying so hard.
What makes it so funny is because all modern fighting games come from one movie, and that is hold on, I gotta make sure I got the right Bruce Lee movie, or else I'm gonna make myself look bad. Because I have actually seen it, but is it Enter the Dragon's the right one? Yes, it is. Enter the Dragon is the one where they go onto the island to have the fighting tournament.
Yep.
And that's
Classic.
basically how every fighting game has basically worked for the rest of history. And it's just like...
And it works.
And it works. It's dumb, but it works. And it's so funny. Because, like, that's all you needed to do. And they don't do that. And not Lee Van Cleef, Jean-Claude Van Damme, wrong Van.
Jean-Claude gosh darn, as I like to call him.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is trying so hard in this movie to make it work. And opposite of him is the late Raul Julia in his last role, knowing full well that he's only in this because his kids picked it. And he is acting his heart out.
Fucking king.
No, what's so great about it, I mean, obviously he's in the Addams Family, which movies, the original ones, so he's great in those. Like, those are good movies that he's in. But he's been in bad movies before.
Oh, he was on one on a Mystery Science Theater. He was the Raubik's Cube.
Yeah, Overdraw from the Memory Bank or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yep.
I remember that. And it's just so funny from it, though, is that for me, it was Tuesday line is shockingly well done, and it's just like, oh, who else? What's her name? She played Mulan. It's like Ming.
Ming Wen?
Yeah, it's Ming Nun. I was like, I couldn't remember what her last name was for a hot second there. Yeah, Ming Nung Wen as Chung Li. Oh, great casting, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, the casting of her in that is good. Some of the casting is good, and she's there, and, like, he just goes, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. And the way he delivers it, and you're just like, God damn, Raul Julia, you deserved a way better movie. Now, mind you, Street Fighter the movie is bad, and don't play Street Fighter. Don't get into Street Fighter lore before you go watch it. Just go watch this movie. It is hilarious. It is not
just
good.
Raw dog it.
It's also like, because the action beats are still kind of good, so they're not that. It's like not that bad. Because the problem with a lot of like cheesy, campy movies that are bad is that they kind of have like that mid-second act, like doldrum of funny shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, none of this is more apparent than your Hunter from the Future. I don't know if you know this one. This one's a bit of a rarity.
Haven't seen it.
It's insane.
Huh.
For starters, it stars, once again, Reb Brown. But it's, like, dubbed over because it was an Italian production. So it was made in, like, the 1980s. It has an absurd theme song, which I might have to send to you. Hold on. I need to do this. This is for the culture.
Also, something else I've noticed. Lots of absurdly, like, good bad movies. Italian.
Yeah, well,
Italy just cranked them out.
Yeah. Here, this is live, much like with the Hentai Bike, this is live reactions from Unkle Death.
Oh boy.
We can't play this. I'm not sure we're going to get copywritten from it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic and listen to this real.
Yeah, so the lyrics are, yours world, he's the man. Yours world. This is wonderfully cheesy. Go look it up. Yours world. Lyrics. Just go look it up. Don't watch the rest of the movie. This is just the opening. This is the title theme. This is back when movies still had title themes, by the way, for those who are too young to remember them. This is incredible. It is ridiculous, it is stupid, and it is dumb. The downside with the movie, though, is that it has a, like, second act doldrum, not a lot happens, but this is a movie where so much shit happens. And sometimes the theme song just kicks in because cool shit happens. And this is stuff you can only get in Italy, my friends. By the way, sorry, you don't need to watch the whole thing. You understand what I mean when it's yours world. He's the man. Oh god, I can't tell if my Discord has failed or if I have stunned my co-host to silence on episode 1.
Can you hear me, Stross?
I can now.
All right. I am astounded. I am flabbergasted. I forgot I muted my mic and also muted myself on Discord, so
Like, and there's a part where he shoots a bat out of the sky and uses it as a hand glider, and the theme song kicks in as he drop kicks somebody.
that's so fucking dumb. I love it.
Oh, it's stupid. Instant rigor mortis. Amazing movie. I almost bought it. I don't know about you, but back home for me, back in San Francisco, there's a Amoeba Music has a video section. So there's like weird rarities and like deep cut stuff. Like that's where I got my Berserk 97 box cut.
Nice.
Speaking of which, we will probably one day talk about Berserk.
We need to.
This is a threat.
We will. We will talk about
You
Berserk.
will learn how incredibly passionate I am about this subject matter. But I almost picked up this movie, and the only reason I didn't because I had to like save money. So it was between that and like I think buying the box set for Berserk, and they're both out of print, and I'm like, this is cruel.
Made the right choice though.
No, I made the right choice in the grand scheme of things. Because I got an out of print box set that's like a decade old for $60. I'm not. You buy that. Even if the discs don't work, you buy that. Versus a bad movie you bring out once in a blue moon.
Also, I mean this is probably a little obvious, but all I can think of is Your Forger. When I see these things.
Yeah,
so like
I the irony that there's now a different character named Your decades later. This was like the mid 80s, and like 40 years later, here comes a very different character. For starters,
I think this Yor could be an anime wife too.
with that hair, absolutely. The wig. But, yours world, he's the man. Sorry.
I think, we have declined as a society because not only do we no longer have like character theme songs in movies, I wish we did.
Yeah.
The downfall of like the really stupid, cheesy barbarian movie.
Well, I mean, part of that's because we have to remember the cheesy barbarian movie was because the original Conan movie did so well. And I love that movie, by the way. That's a good movie. Not Conan the Destroyer. Conan the Destroyer is a bad movie, but it's fun. Because it's
the original Conan, though.
No, the original Conan movie is actually really good in spite of basically everything saying it shouldn't be. And its soundtrack for both of those movies, by the way, are fantastic.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Basil.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my man. You made truly fantastic music for a movie that did not... I don't know if any movie truly deserved that soundtrack.
It didn't deserve it, but it got it all the same.
And I want to make it clear, that's not us saying anything bad about the movie. It's just that the soundtrack to the original Conan movie is shockingly way too good.
It just defies belief. It is astounding in its technical goodness for something that probably could have gotten by with mediocrity.
Yeah. Like, the original Conan movie is, like, really fun and good and does a lot of really cool stuff, and it has really awkward politics. Mostly because of its director being a weird, hyper-conservative guy who also... I
Yeah.
mean, he did Red Dawn, of course he was, but... Wolverines. But on the other end of the spectrum, is weirdly progressive in places. It's a very strange movie. Also a great James Earl Jones moment.
Fuck yeah.
Great moment as the villain. It's just, it's a weird combo of things. It's a very odd movie that shouldn't work but totally does, and is really fun while it happens. It's just good.
Yeah, it is quality.
It's greater than the sum of its parts somehow.
Yeah.
Except the music, which is greater than the whole movie.
Agreed.
Not a statement. Even when the movie was released, people were like, even the people who didn't like it were like, this soundtrack is way too good for this movie. You know your soundtrack is special when even the people who hate your movie were like, that soundtrack was incredible. What the fuck?
So I think so far we have come to the consensus that a true like good bad movie is the sum of several things. It's earnestness, it's I would say audacity. I think that every good bad movie should be a little audacious.
Or at least have some level of bravado that's completely unnerd.
Yes.
Unnerd. Whoops.
Unnerd.
Whoopsies.
Unearned. What's the...
I think the third one is just a willingness to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's a lot of failed projects that never see the light of day. You're an artist. You have probably 1,000 sketches that have never seen the light of day.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of bullshit that it's between me and God. Nobody's ever gonna see it.
And not even because they're bad or good or anything. It's just like, they're just sketches. They're not meant...
There's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfinished stuff. It's stuff on my way to getting better and making things that I actually want to show people.
Yeah. It's the willingness to be like... that's where the bravado comes in. It's earnest. It's being earnest, audacity to overestimate your abilities, and then the bravado to release it.
Precisely.
Because you need to have some level of unearned confidence to be able to be like, take a look at my movie, despite the fact that almost everyone here would think it's terrible.
Like, I did, so way back in high school, and I would say it was an actual movie that me and my friends made. Because we had, like, credits and everything. This was, like, a whole process deal. We did special effects and shit. It was absolutely the dumbest thing. And like, it was no good, but it's like, we posted it anyway, and I think there is kind of a there needs to be that desire to, like, share that with the world. And I think it's kind of beautiful in a way.
Yeah, like, to me... If you make a really bad movie, that's fine. If it's fun, it will find its audience. And that, to me, is the ultimate point of this, is that, you know what? A good bad movie is fun. In the end, it's fun, because we might be laughing at your movie, but you made something that brought enjoyment, because you don't want to be that, like, 6 out of 10 that no one remembers.
Yeah.
Immortality can be come by in many ways, from true classics, absolutely terrible, getting hopped up on spray paint and jumping off of a car while shouting, "Witness me."
Hell yeah.
We are going to be talking about Mad Max Fury Road. I know we are. I love that movie.
We'd better. Oh, we'd better. I saw that movie in theaters 4 times.
Oh, God. I remember I saw that movie... And I had to wait a week because I was going to go see it with Z as like a date night thing. And we didn't leave the theater for like several minutes after it was done.
It is that good.
It's a great movie. But to round out our first ever episode, we have what I'm going to call a reoccurring segment of what you watching or playing. I don't know. Or reading.
Right.
Is there anything fun that you've been watching as of late?
Oh gosh. Well, I've actually been rewatching Hellsing. I'm going through I think the Elfen Lied thing kicked off a thing in me where I've been wanting to go back through and like watch some of the stuff that I saw in high school or read in high school and see if it's still any good.
Hellsing?
Hellsing so far is very interesting.
No, I think to me the reason why like a lot of those hyper violent anime things that just a lot of them don't age very well because they're just gratuitous. Hellsing kind of revels in its own overwhelming gratuity of everything.
It is again, as we mentioned before, it is audacious.
Yeah.
And I think it holds on to that to the point where you're willing to buy into it.
I think it's just because it presents itself as a B movie
Oh yeah.
from the 70s and you're just like I can jam with this.
And also like the most ice cold take ever. Alucard is cool. Alucard is
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are. He's still cool.
Yeah. As for me, I've been watching one thing. I've been watching something recent. Shocking, I know. I the past like 6 months or so, I've been watching a lot more actual things that have been released.
Nice.
Which is, I've always stated I am terrible about watching things.
I am too.
It's just like I'm just bad about it. It's just you'd think someone like me would be like, oh, I watch movies all the time. The last movie I saw was Robert Eggers' The Northman in theaters, which we're probably also going to end up talking about because that was a weird one. Because
I'd like a Robert Eggers episode.
yeah, absolutely. But I've been watching Tomo-chan as a girl,
Oh,
and
how is it so far?
honestly, not bad. I've been pleasantly happy with it.
Nice. It's been one I've wanted to see.
I sort of what I think really helps, and one of the problems with a lot of rom-com anime and rom-coms in general, I guess, is that a lot of them, well, it depends how it's set up, but a lot of these rom-com stories where the whole end point is, hey, these two characters getting together is the end point. Like, that's where the story ends, is these two characters, becoming a couple. It at least has the understanding that that's the end game. They don't... So far, I'm 5 episodes in, there's no will they, won't they thing with these characters. Because, in the first episode, they were wisely to put a scene where it's like, hey, what if Tomo gets a boyfriend and he's like, just pushes her. It's like, oh, I see. You do like her. You're just scared of your relationship with her fundamentally changing from being friends to being a couple.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. It also helps that the main best friend character is an agent of chaos.
Fuck yeah. We love that. We love an agent of chaos.
Well, no, her other best friend is also an agent of chaos, but very different.
Okay.
She's like the weirdest space case you'll ever meet. And what's great about her, she's voiced by the same person in English and in Japanese.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I looked it up. Her name is Sally Amaki. She's an idol in Japan, but she was born in LA.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's neat. I like this
Good for her.
Yeah, good for you for being able to speak 2 languages unlike us.
Yeah. Gotta say, I am not to that bilingual place yet. Probably won't be for a long time.
Well, I can't translate things in my head. I physically can't do that. Whoops. Thanks. But also, what's fun about it is the other main major male character so far is voiced by trans man. I think that's pretty neat.
Oh, gas.
He was tweeting about it when I saw it, which is kind of led me to it, was him going like, I always wanted to be in a romantic comedy as one of the major characters, and here I am, fulfilling my dream. I'm like, this is almost as many dreams being fulfilled as JoJo's Part 6. Yes. I say almost, but because JoJo's Part 6 was literally the one where all the dreams did come true. Not just for, the English side, but also the Japanese side, and the people who did the theme song.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Love to see it.
Absolutely.
I I like people actually getting to do what they want to do.
Yeah. I do recommend it. I do think it is one of those things where it's an anime rom-com, so you're gonna have to deal with anime rom-com bullshit. I think it's better than most, helped by that the lead character isn't, the usual waif.
Yeah, I've been kind of warming up to anime rom-coms, honestly. Confession, I have been reading My Dress Up Darling, and I actually really like it.
My Dress Up Darling, from I haven't watched or read it yet, but from what I've been told about it from people who do it, it's actually really good.
It is very good.
I mean, I think it's also because, like, for a lot of us, when we grew up, and we'll talk about this more on a future episode, because a lot of rom-coms from when we were a kid were harem anime, and specifically because a certain Love Hina was very popular back in the early 2000s, and those were not very, and a lot of their, well, Love Hina wasn't very good to begin with, but, those entertainers were worse.
It was grim. It was grim, and I'm really glad that we're moving past that as a society now.
Yeah. We have moved past it, and now we're into the idea where a tomboy and her karate buddy can be in a relationship where she desperately wants it to go to the next step. And is
You love to see it.
friends with a weird British girl who's flighty as fuck.
But I will definitely be putting that one on my to-watch list.
Absolutely. I think it's been pretty good so far. I still need to watch this week's episode. It's not the best anime I've seen over the past 2 years. But, it's been good. In its defense, last season ended up being incredibly packed.
There's been a lot going on.
Soletta Sunday was very, very much a thing, and I was a part of it. We will probably also talk about Witch from Mercury at some point, because I hope it avoids the Gundam second half curse. Do you know about that?
I've not heard of it. I'll be real, I'm not a super big Gundam watcher, so
I'm not
fill me
either.
in.
I'm not either. So this is the thing. This is how we're going to round out this evening. We started with the Hentai Bike. We went to bad movies, and then now we're ending up on some anime lore. We come full circle.
Tell me, Lore Master.
Well, of course, I'll teach you the ways. So, one of the things about Gundam series, and I'm not a big Gundam watcher myself. You'd think I would be, and you'd generally be right, but I just kind of, like I said, I'm terrible about watching things. But in the history of Gundam, and it goes back to Gundam 0083, which has an awesome theme song. I will be sharing with this after we're done recording. Be ready for that. Because it is the most 80s cheese from 1992 that you will ever get. But
I'm already intrigued.
So 0083 was the first time where this happened, where like the first half is really good and has a lot of promise, and then in the second half of the season, it falls apart and just goes off the rails and becomes terrible.
Oh.
And it is a historic thing that's happened to a lot of Gundam series, like 00. Like if it's not outright bad, like a lot of Gundam shows have this tendency to start off really well, like get to this midpoint, and then just never stick the landing.
That sucks.
This is not a Gundam Wing situation, where Gundam Wing was never actually all that good. It just was really popular. And it's not Gundam Seed, which was terrible, but also extremely popular for some reason. We will talk about...
Gundam Seed was pretty garbage.
Oh, we are gonna have... We're gonna be talking about... And this is one of the things on the list, is the many terrible names of Gundam. There are so many horrifyingly insane character names. I will just name one. There's someone named Mula Flaga. That is a person. That is a Gundam character.
No.
Yes! That is a real person. That is a real character. You do not know how to spell it, so you would not get it right. But here, I'm going to do this. Go to your search bar.
Okay.
Put in MU space LA space FLAGA and you'll probably get the character if I remember how it's spelled correctly, because it is terrible.
Oh, I got it. That is a horrible name.
See? And that's going to be an episode, because there's so
Why
many.
would you do that?
There's so many, and that's just one, and Gundam Seed has so many. But yeah,
Oh.
I'm just praying that G Witch just sticks the landing, because so far it's been so good, and I'm like, please stick the landing.
Well,
Your siblings have not always done it. This is your chance.
we've got it in our prayers. Hopefully everything pans out and
Yeah.
it avoids the curse.
Anything else you've been watching that's fun to talk about? You can just mention you're watching it. We could talk about it full in a different day.
I've actually been rewatching a very, very old favorite of mine. Was really into it long time ago. Rewatching Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei.
Oh, how's that been?
Have you seen that
No, I have not.
one? It's technically a comedy anime. It's basically the main character is this school teacher, and he is the world's most depressed man. And I guess a content warning for any of our viewers, going to talk about suicide here real quick. The anime literally opens up with him attempting to hang himself, and his student is probably the most optimistic girl in the world. She finds him, decides he was trying to make himself taller, and then immediately goes about like trying to befriend him.
Well,
And it's very strange. It's very out there.
sounds
Has
nuts.
some absolute bangers of like opening songs. Like I think some of my favorite anime openings.
Ooh. Also, future episode probably.
Yes, it's weird and I like it very much. I'm glad to see that it held up, from when I last read
Especially
it.
when it's
so.
comedy, because comedies are just like that. That's a minefield of bad times.
Yeah, I think a lot of why it works is because it's a lot of it's kind of like social commentary on like the state of like particularly Japanese culture, obviously,
Right.
and it's just commenting on kind of like the absurdity of like life and society, and
In
it's I don't know.
society. I'm a clown.
I
I know nothing.
I just think it's fun.
Yeah, what I've been watching, a friend of mine has been showing it and streaming it. Master Keaton, which is okay. So I need to talk about this real quick, because Master Keaton was not what I expected. When I say Master
Okay.
Keaton, what do you think that is?
Sci-fi is coming to mind. It's like a cheesy sci-fi.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the plot synopsis is real quick. Now,
All
this is
right.
also an anime, but Taichi Keaton is a half British, half Japanese archaeologist. I'm not gonna say this next part. He solves mysteries and investigates insurance fraud for Lloyds around the world. It's about an
Okay.
insurance investigator. It should be noted that Master Keaton himself is a former SAS veteran of the Falkland Wars. It's way better than it sounds. It sounds nuts, but it's actually surprisingly good.
Oh, I like a show with an absurd premise. I could dig it.
It's a weird premise, and the best part about it is the dub is. I wasn't sure. I recognized some of the voices, but I couldn't remember from where until I watched like the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I recognized a very specific voice. Because the second episode is is that the second episode? No, that's the volume list. I'm trying to look for the episode count. Yeah, there we go. Episode count. Yes. It was called Little Giant, and in it I heard a very specific voice. Do you know who Graham McNeil is? Off the top
The
of your
name
head?
sounds familiar. Not off the tip of my tongue. Who is it?
You know him probably best as the voice of Koga from Inuyasha.
Oh.
It's a Canadian dub. I'm like, that's Graham McNeil. This is a Canadian dub. I know that immediately. So there is like, I think Monica Story is in it. Like all the people from Inuyasha are there, and Gundam. It's like all the people you would recognize from Ocean's dubbing company. It is an Ocean dub, and it's like, wow, I haven't heard some of these voices in a while.
Oh, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, no, it is it's been shockingly very fun to watch. It's
Well,
totally. I'm only on like episode 4 right now. I'm gonna be seeing more of it tomorrow with my other friends. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's only in the realm of anime would you get a story about an insurance investigator that's this good. Not once, but twice. Calling you out, Trigun. I remember.
well, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to sit down and watch it as soon as I get the chance.
Absolutely. You will also be like, wow, the anime don't look like this no more. Don't worry, that's also an episode.
All right.
Anyway, folks, thank you all for joining us today. I am Almighty Stross. You can follow me on Twitter at Almighty Stross. I'm also on Twitch as the same thing because I actually surprisingly keep consistent with my branding.
Your brand.
My brand.
And I am Uncle Death /Sardo. You can find me at Autopsy Garlands on Twitter, and also at Uncle Death, Uncle with a K instead of a C, on Twitch, where I'm hoping to stream again soon.
I hope so,
February's
too.
been a busy month, but I did pre-order Yakuza Ishin.
Me too.
And I intend on streaming it. So
Also a future episode.
yes. Oh, we're gonna talk about.
I love
Yakuza.
how that's the catchphrase. That's a future episode.
Now an episode. Yeah,
Coming soon.
we're gonna talk Yakuza. Believe you me.
We have the recurring segment of once again our thoughts return to Samurai, and trust me, you're not prepared for how crazy that gets. But thank you all. This is the first episode of the Skeleton Crew, or a Skeleton Crew. We'll see which one gets us more traction.
Who knows?
We understand,
Thank you,
Search AO. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.